The veteran set up his sniper rifle, aimed at the three boys who had violated his granddaughter. Just as the boy opened the bottle, he pulled the trigger. The boy's lower body was completely shattered. The veteran then locked the sniper rifle in his locker, picked up the shell casings on the floor, put on his jacket, and walked downstairs as if nothing had happened. Soon the ambulance arrived. The wounded boy was carried to the car. The police chief arrived on the scene and noticed a bullet hole in the couch. He looked across the building and seemed to guess what was going on. The next day, the men came to the apartment building again. The old man returned to his room, picked up his sniper rifle, and aimed it at another boy who had assaulted his granddaughter. The boy had just bought a new car and was sitting in it, listening to music. The veteran adjusted his aim to the gas tank. With a gunshot, the car exploded. The man inside the car was burned on the lower half of his body, and the new car was completely destroyed. People gathered around and laughed at him for getting what he deserved. With 2 accidents in a row, the police chief suspects that it might be veteran Ivan's doing. He warns his son not to go out or near the window. The boy hurriedly moved a potted plant to block his view, drew all the curtains, and sat on the sofa, afraid to move. The police chief then came with his men to search the veteran. They searched every corner but found nothing suspicious. Just when he was at his wit's end, there was a knock on the door. It turned out to be the girl's aunt who had come to get her keys. The police chief followed her to her house and saw the apartment building across the street through the window. The veteran was sweating when the police opened the locker, but there was nothing inside. The veteran wondered where the hidden gun had gone. The police chief asked the veteran if he had ever laid hands on his son. Upon hearing the veteran's words, the police chief was horrified. Thinking his son had been killed, he rushed home and pounded on the door. However, there was no movement inside. He pulled out his gun and was about to shoot the door open when the man in the house fired back. The police chief was shot in the abdomen. It turned out that it was his son who had been scared out of his wits and fired the gun. The 3 men got what they deserved, and their granddaughter's smile returned. However, the veteran couldn't figure out how the gun hidden in the closet had disappeared.